Welcome to the ministry of fuck you, where hypocrisy meets fire, bullshit gets burned, idiots get roasted, and the comments dumpster gets lit on fire. Today's sermon: The resistance is just business, the merchandising of outrage. Part 1, merch first, democracy later. You thought the resistance was about saving democracy? Please, it's about selling t-shirts. It's about clickbait headlines, donation links, and podcasts that repeat the same 3 talking points forever. Because if the fight ever ended, the money would too. And don't get it twisted, they love having an enemy. Without MAGA, there is no resistance merch industry. No more democracy dies in darkness mugs. No more blue wave bumper stickers. No more endless grift begging you to chip in $10 to fight fascism. By which they mean chip in $10 so I can lease a second vacation home. Every time Trump says something stupid, boom, another $1 million in resistance email blasts. Every court indictment, cha-ching, another round of limited edition merch drops. You think they want him to go away? Hell no. They need him like a parasite needs a host. The resistance is just MAGA in reverse. A lifestyle brand fueled by fear, with exactly the same business model. Keep the audience panicked. Yes, right. Keep them angry. There's that. Will keep them donating. And just like MAGA, this scam works best when the enemy feels existential. If Trump disappeared tomorrow, half of these grifters would be out of business by Tuesday. So the next time you buy that Democracy Defender hoodie, just remember, you're not supporting a cause. You're buying into an industry, and that industry needs your fear to survive. The resistance is just business. The merchandising of outrage. Part 2. Political donations are a subscription scam. You think your donation is fighting fascism? It's fighting to keep some resistance grifters' inbox engagement rate above 5%. That $20 donation you clicked once? Congratulations. You just signed up for the most annoying subscription service on earth, the email panic machine. Every headline, democracy on the brink. Every week, this is the most important deadline ever. And somehow, every time there's a fundraising deadline, they just happen to be $25,000 short. How convenient. They prey on fear, then harvest your dopamine. They send emails written like a hostage negotiation. If we don't raise $50K by midnight, democracy will die. No, what will die is some consultant's monthly retainer if you don't hit that button. And don't think they'll let you unsubscribe either. You unsubscribe from one pack, 5 new ones spring up overnight, like Hydra heads of grift. Why? Because it works. Political donations are a subscription scam. They don't want the fight to end. They want it to stay just scary enough to keep your credit card on file. Ask yourself, when's the last time they emailed you to say, "Good news, we won, you can stop donating now"? Never, because there's no money in victory. There's only money in fear. The resistance isn't about winning. It's about keeping you scared enough to pay next month's bill. The resistance is just business. The merchandising of outrage. Part 3, the cult of the blue check savior. You know what every resistance grifter needs? A hero figure? A blue check savior, a TV pundit, a podcast host, a resistance influencer with a 10K home studio and a PayPal donation button bigger than their actual content. These people are professional hope peddlers. They tell you every week that we're on the verge of turning the tide. And every week, nothing turns, because if it did, they'd be out of a job. How do you know you've met a blue check savior? Easy. Their followers will defend them with religious fervor, say anything critical about them, and the replies flood in like a cult. You're helping the enemy. You must be a Russian bot. You clearly don't care about democracy. No, I just think it's hilarious that your resistance hero sells $30 tote bags while lecturing you about late-stage capitalism. These blue check saviors don't want you thinking critically. They want you emotionally dependent. They're the high priests of the fear temple. Worship my podcast. Retweet my takes. Subscribe to my Substack. Keep the dopamine loop alive. And here's the dirty secret. They need MAGA to survive. Without Trump, they have nothing to post. Without the culture war, they have nothing to sell. Without outrage, they have no brand. The resistance isn't about truth. It's about building personal brands off your panic. So the next time a blue check savior tells you democracy is hanging by a thread, ask yourself, how much money have they made dangling that thread in front of you? The resistance is just business. The merchandising of outrage. Part 4, the new Puritans of the resistance. Once upon a time, the resistance claimed to fight for freedom, inclusion, and progress. Now it fights for purity. It fights for control. And if you step out of line, even by an inch, the mob is waiting. Congratulations. The resistance has become the new Puritans. The old Puritans burned witches. These ones burn reputations. One tweet, one comment, one imperfect opinion, gone. You're an unperson now. They've built a culture of joyless moral perfectionism, and guess what? There's no forgiveness, no redemption, no grace. Just endless performance and fear. Every new cause becomes a test of ideological purity. Every dissenting voice is branded dangerous. And every opportunity is seized to signal virtue and punish heresy. Think the wrong thought? Canceled. Use the wrong word. Even 10 years ago. Canceled. Failed to post the approved hashtag during the current outrage cycle. You must be a fascist. Canceled. And who benefits from this? Blue check saviors, influencers, grifters, corporate media. They feed off the moral panic like leeches because constant social chaos keeps the clicks and the money flowing. Here's the truth. The resistance isn't about making the world better anymore. It's about controlling the conversation, policing language, punishing thought crime, and performing moral superiority in front of a captive digital audience. They've become exactly what they claim to oppose. Self-righteous, intolerant, authoritarian. But hey, at least they look good doing it on Instagram, right? The resistance is just business. The merchandising of outrage. Part 5, Grievance is the new identity. What happens when a political movement runs out of real victories to fight for? It builds an identity out of grievance. The resistance used to fight for ideals. Now it fights to stay mad. It fights to stay offended. It fights to stay relevant. Because if the fight ever ended, if the crisis was actually solved, what would be left? Who would they be without the outrage? They've built an identity on being the good guys, fighting the bad guys. And if the bad guys ever disappear, so does the resistance. That's why they cling to every scandal, every tweet, every manufactured controversy. It's not about fixing problems anymore. It's about perpetual grievance. It's about keeping the US v's them story alive. Because without it, the movement has no meaning. Look at the Grift cycle. Every donation appeal, every merch drop, every influencer rant. It all depends on keeping the audience angry, afraid, and outraged. Because as long as you feel wronged, as long as you feel like a victim, you'll keep paying, you'll keep clicking, you'll keep believing that the resistance is the only thing standing between you and doom. Grievance is the new identity, and there's no money in healing. There's only money in keeping you broken and blaming someone else. Sermon complete. You know what to do. Like it, spread it, throw gas on the comments, and subscribe for a new sermon every week.